Stephen Beard, a millionaire with a heart of gold, thought he had finally found happiness with his younger wife, Celeste, and her twin daughters. But behind the grand mansion's doors, a dark storm was brewing, one that would shatter their lives forever. As the twisted truths slowly unravel, we are left to wonder, was this ever a family, or just a deadly illusion? Stephen Beard was a wealthy, retired television executive who had built his fortune from the ground up. In his 70s, after losing his first wife, Stephen found solace and love again with Celeste Martinez, a woman nearly 4 decades younger. Celeste was charming, vibrant, and brought a new energy into Stephen's life. Along with her, she brought her twin daughters, Kristina and Jennifer, who Stephen embraced as his own. From the outside, the Beards seemed like the perfect family. They lived in an expansive estate in Austin, Texas, where the twins enjoyed a life of luxury that most could only dream of. Stephen was the loving patriarch, Celeste the glamorous wife, and the twins, bright and beautiful, completed the picture. But beneath this idyllic surface, something sinister was growing. Celeste, despite her outward charm, had a troubled past filled with financial instability and manipulative relationships. She was accustomed to using her looks and charisma to get what she wanted, and now, she had her sights set on something far more valuable than love. What would you do if the family you trusted began to fall apart from within? As Stephen Beard tried to hold his new family together, Celeste's true colors started to show. And as the tension escalated, the twins found themselves caught in a dangerous game they never asked to play. Behind the mansion's walls, the facade of a happy family was crumbling, and the truth was far more terrifying than anyone could have imagined. As time passed, Stephen began to notice changes in Celeste. Her spending spiraled out of control, and no amount of wealth seemed to satisfy her desires. The tension in their marriage grew, with Stephen trying to put limits on her excesses. But Celeste was not one to be restrained. She had grown accustomed to a life of opulence and wasn't about to let it slip away. The twins, Kristina and Jennifer, were caught in the middle. They adored Stephen, who had provided them with stability and love. But they also witnessed the growing rift between him and their mother. As the arguments became more frequent, the once peaceful home turned into a battlefield. Unbeknownst to Stephen, Celeste had begun a secret relationship with a woman named Tracy Tarleton, whom she had met during a stay at a mental health facility. Their relationship was intense, and Celeste, always the manipulator, began planting the seeds of a deadly plan. She convinced Tracy that the only way they could be together was if Stephen were out of the picture. How far would someone go to keep their secrets hidden? Celeste Beard was ready to risk everything, including the lives of those closest to her. As she manipulated Tracy Tarleton into executing her dark plan, the twins unknowingly lived under a roof that was about to collapse. What they didn't know was that their mother had set in motion a series of events that would change their lives forever, leaving them to wonder, could they have stopped it? Celeste's manipulation of Tracy deepened as she painted Stephen as an abusive tyrant, someone who needed to be eliminated for them to be free. Tracy, blinded by her love for Celeste, was all too willing to help. The twins, meanwhile, continued their lives, unaware that their mother's deceitful actions were about to tear their world apart. On the night of October 2nd, 1999, as Stephen Beard lay asleep in his bed, the plan was set into motion. Tracy entered the Beard mansion with a shotgun, creeping through the hallways of the home where the twins also slept, unaware of the horror unfolding. She made her way to Stephen's room, pointed the gun at him, and pulled the trigger. The blast was catastrophic, but did not kill Stephen immediately. He managed to call 911, his voice filled with pain and desperation as he reported the attack in his own home. The twins, awakened by the chaos, were thrown into a world of confusion and fear as they witnessed their stepfather, the man who had taken care of them, fighting for his life. When the truth comes crashing down, it leaves no one unscathed. For Kristina and Jennifer, the tragedy didn't end with their stepfather's death. It was only the beginning. As investigators peeled back the layers of their mother's lies, the twins faced a harrowing reality. The person they trusted most was the architect of their family's destruction. Could they ever recover from the truth that was about to be revealed? Stephen was rushed to the hospital, clinging to life. The twins were left in a state of shock. Their world suddenly turned upside down. Despite the efforts of the medical team, Stephen succumbed to his injuries on January 22, 2000. The initial belief that this was a home invasion quickly dissipated as investigators began to uncover a far more disturbing reality. As the investigation unfolded, Celeste's erratic behavior and her questionable relationship with Tracy Tarleton came under scrutiny. The twins watched in disbelief as their mother's carefully crafted image began to crumble. The truth was more horrifying than they could have imagined. Celeste had orchestrated the entire plot, manipulating Tracy into carrying out the attack that would ultimately destroy their family. The courtroom became the stage for one of the most shocking trials in Texas history. As the truth about Celeste's involvement came to light, Kristina and Jennifer were forced to confront the reality that their mother was not the victim, but the villain. The trial exposed the depths of Celeste's deception and left the twins grappling with a harrowing question. How could the woman who gave them life be the architect of such death and destruction? Celeste Beard's trial in 2002 was a media spectacle. The prosecution laid bare the chilling details of how she had manipulated Tracy into committing murder, all for the sake of inheriting Stephen's fortune and continuing her lavish lifestyle. The twins, once seen as symbols of innocence in the tragedy, now found themselves thrust into the spotlight, their every move scrutinized by a public hungry for details. Tracy Tarleton's testimony was damning, revealing the extent of Celeste's manipulation and greed. Celeste's attempts to portray herself as a victim fell flat, as the jury saw through her lies. Kristina and Jennifer, forced to witness their mother's public unraveling, struggled with the conflicting emotions of love and betrayal. In the end, Celeste was convicted of capital murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The twins, left to pick up the pieces of their shattered lives, were left with scars that would never fully heal. Even after the trial, the shadows of the past loomed large over Kristina and Jennifer. They had lost not just their stepfather, but also the mother they once adored. As they tried to rebuild their lives, the question remained. Could they ever escape the darkness that their mother had cast over them, or would they forever be haunted by the sins of the past? Rebuilding in the aftermath. After Celeste's conviction, Kristina and Jennifer Beard were left to navigate a world that no longer made sense. They distanced themselves from their mother, trying to find a path forward that didn't involve the trauma of their past. But the legacy of the Beard family tragedy remained with them, a constant reminder of how quickly life can change when trust is betrayed. Stephen Beard's legacy, once defined by his success and generosity, was now forever tied to the tragedy that had befallen his family. The twins, who had once been symbols of hope and love in his life, were now left to carry the weight of the story that had shocked a nation.